Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. So in this video, I will explain about the process of randomization. But before that, we can go back to our previous lecture notes where I have explained about some guideline to do an experiment. So in the process of experiment, there are few steps that need to be followed. Okay, and if we refer to the fourth step, which is the choice of experimental design. So in this phase, we do the process of randomization. So what is randomization? It is refer to the process how we assigned our treatment into the experimental unit at random. So why we need to do the randomization is because we want to avoid bias. Okay, for example, the first 6 mice you grab may have intrinsically higher BP. So in order to control the role of chance, randomizations will allow the later use of probability theory and so give a solid foundation for statistical analysis. So we go to the process of randomization where it consists of a few steps. We start with the first step where we identify all treatments and number of replication for each treatment. Okay, the number of replications also can be considered as a sample size. So, for example here, if we decide to have a treatment A, B, C, and D. So overall, we have 4 treatments to be considered. The replications of the treatment, okay, number of replication in each treatment. Let's say I want to have 6 replication for each treatment. So overall, we will have replication multiplied by number of treatments will be equal to the total experimental unit. So if I decided to have 6 replications multiplied by 4 treatments, and my total experimental unit will be equal 24. So these are all my experimental unit. That is the first step. After we do we decide our total experimental unit, then in step 2, we assign number from 1 to n to each of the experimental unit. We already have 24 experimental unit. We assign the number for each of the experimental unit. So we assign number 1 to 24. That is our step 2. Okay, the next step is randomize the treatment using any software, for example, Excel. So in this video, I will explain to you how Excel can help us to randomize our treatment. Okay, and then after we randomize the treatment, we assign the random treatment to the experimental units. So we go to the Excel in order to develop or to come out with the random treatment. So I already have list up all the treatments with the replications. So we have treatment A, B, C, D, and I replicate into 6 times. So altogether we have 24. The next one is we put the random number. Okay, just type any random number. If you type the functions of RAND, it will give you 2 options. Either you want to use random with empty space, empty bracket, where it will come out, return to you the number, random number from 0 to 1. Or if you choose the random between, so it will give you the random number in between the bottom number and the top number that you decided. So in this case, let's say I decided to have the bottom number is 1 because I just need the discrete number. Okay, so let's say I want from 1 to 1000. So it will give to you the random number between 1 to 1000. Usually we try to get a larger interval because the larger the interval, more random number that you will get. Okay, so it come with number 7. Turn out with number 7. So what you have to do is just to drag down the random number. Okay, if you see here, once you click enter or once you do any process, it will give different number because it is keep on changing. Excel will keep change the number when you have do any activities to the spreadsheet. So one way to make the number constant, okay, because we already have a set of random number, but once you do any process, it will change. So it's not static. So if you need the static number, what you should do is to copy and paste as a number. Okay, for example, this one. Okay, so we can delete the unnecessary column, so just remain the column that we already paste the random number just now. Okay, next, after you paste the number, what you should do is to sort the numbers so that you can assign your treatment at random. You make your treatment at random. So we just sort the number from smallest to largest. Okay. All right, so I don't forget to also choose. Okay, I just forget to explain that you have to choose the expand selection so that it will also sort the treatment according to the random number. So for example, here we already have the treatment sorted at random because it depends on the random number given to it previously. So after we have the random number, then you can assign this treatment into your experimental unit. So I already copy previously, I already copy the random number into the random number into the experimental unit. So we will have the treatment, for example, treatment A. It's already sorted at random based on this random number, which I already sorted according to sorted increasingly. And we add the experimental unit number from 1 to 24. And remember that we already gave the number to our experimental units. So what we do next is to arrange the treatment into a table like this. So we will have first column for treatment A, second column treatment B, third and fourth. Okay, for treatment A, we already see that it is assigned to experimental unit number 1. So we put the experimental unit number 1, a treatment A. And it will follow the process until we finish arrange all the experimental unit into the particular treatments. So you can do the process. Okay, the next treatment A is for experimental unit 3 and so on. So we arrange the experimental unit according to the treatment that we already sort at random. So basically here we already assign the treatment into the experimental unit at random. So the next step is to observe the response variable and then you will complete the process of the experiment. Okay, that's all for now. In my next video, I will explain how to do the analysis of the response variable. Thank you.